Hello, 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 and welcome to the new normal with Deborah Francis White on the Guilty Feminist Instagram Live, the show in which we talk to comedians, activists, and others about how their quarantine's going and what this new normal looks like to them. And today we have the incredible Jamie Windust. Let's see if Jamie's there. Not yet. Okay, so Jamie Windust, if you're watching this, would you please ask to join? So today I'm upstairs. I'm seeing if the internet doesn't normally work upstairs well enough to do this, but Tom assures me it will now. I don't know why, but he assures me it will. I look very glowy. Thank you. I've put moisturiser on, and because I had to do something with Albright, I put on some blush, like some kind of old Francis White who leaves the house. And in Jamie Windust will be in 3, 2. Hello, Jamie Windust.
We've made it.
We've made it. I'm loving your look today.
Do you know what? I thought I'd dress up for you, Deborah, if I'm honest.
I thank you so much because I haven't bothered for you and I feel bad now.
Thank you. But we know that we're going to get 900 questions as to where are our glasses from.
That's true. That's my main career now, answering where did you get glasses, Trelise Cooper. But I have worn a pink top, which is, better than the gym clothes I normally wear on this. That's because I didn't do it for you. I did it for Albright. I'm really sorry. I've stayed in it. I haven't changed back into sweat. So
I've got a confession. I've stayed in what I wore for another live earlier. It's just it's a cyclical live fraud.
I mean, all we do now, it feels, I've never felt so Instagram live and dead inside at the same time.
Truly. I mean this ring light's getting its money's worth.
It's a loop now, isn't it? I am, though, doing personal training and learning and doing sort of like dance fitness sort of stuff, and just learning routines and stuff learning stuff is helping me pass the time. It's helping me understand that time has passed and making meaning of that. And
it's reminding you that clock is still going.
Because I was saying, what week of lockdown is it now? Is it 4? Is it 4? It can't be 4 because they've announced another 30 days. How are you? Because are you an introvert or an extrovert, Jamie?
Do you know, interestingly, I am an introvert.
Are you?
Surprise.
So you get your energy from yourself. I get my energy from you, and you get your energy from you too. So we're both getting our energy from the amazing Jamie Windust, the phenomenal. And there's the Lexi page saying, "Hey, hi Jamie, looking fabulous." Correct. Yeah. The Lexi page.
I think I am an introvert because I go for dinner on my own. I go to shows on my own. I'm self-employed, so I work from home most of the time anyway. I have about 2 friends, which is far too many, to be honest. And
too many friends.
Too many. They always joke with me that they're on probation because I tend to go. I'm very cyclical with friends. I'm like, right, you've got 3 months.
Oh.
Do anything.
If you don't please me in those 3 months, you're gone. Travis Alabanza said that they were joining us today when they saw you were on. They said they were going to tune in because Travis did it last week. Travis, are you there? Because you've promised. So can you please wave and say you're here because you promised to join us. Do you know Travis? Because they seemed excited that you were on.
Unfortunately, I do know Travis, yes.
Travis, one of the 2 friends.
Travis will make it 3, actually. Travis is a 3rd.
Travis, you were not in the original count. This has got awkward. Luckily, Travis doesn't seem to have tuned in. Travis is not acknowledging us.
Thank God.
I don't think Travis has heard it there. Now, can I ask you, firstly, number 1, how the hell are you?
I am... I'm fine. No,
Tom, bless
God,
you.
Tom.
For fuck's sake. I'm not sure that's not what I meant to say to my loving partner in quarantine, but I'm on television. For God's sake. This is how we make television now.
I'm kind of fine. Do you know what? I was fine, and then this week's thrown me. I've not got like locked in syndrome, but I'm just like so bored. Not even because I've got nothing to do, but I'm just bored of the situation. Like I feel like all of our routines are just going about out of date, and we're like, well, I've made enough banana bread. I've done 5 lives a day. What's next? So
my bananas are so black now. I think they're beyond banana bread. Is that a thing? I was saving them because I was saying I was going to make banana bread, but I hoped if they stayed there long enough, Tom would really do it. He said
I
he would
mean,
yesterday. You didn't say you would. You don't want to make. He's such a good cook, though. Why do you want to bake? He just doesn't want to. I mean, it's disappointing. It's disappointing for everybody.
it is. I mean, I think you could start something there, like fermented banana bread.
Oh, that's a good idea. Could we make alcoholic banana bread, Tom? I don't normally talk. It looks like I don't really. He looks like a Maris figure, like I don't really have a husband. People are saying no more banana bread, please.
No more banana bread.
Yes, people are saying I can still use them. See, I can still use them. Can I ask you, do you have any new I'm a Feminist bots because of this, Jamie?
I do have one that
Yes.
I have prepared. I'm a big fan of the news purely because it's been my lifelong dream to be a news presenter. I don't know why that's not happened.
I don't know either. I feel like we're into a space where you could be a news presenter.
I'm the
have to be a funky channel.
Yeah, maybe
You're
Channel
not going
4.
to be BBC One, Jamie Windust. But neither am I. So you know.
True.
Yes.
I'm a feminist, but I put Sky News on the other day to watch my queen, my icon, Rigby, and she wasn't wearing red lipstick, and I couldn't watch it, so I had to turn it off.
Wow, that's some serious I'm a Feminist butting right there.
That's real misogyny right there.
I don't know if it's misogyny. I think it's it's slightly, it's snobbishness. It's judgmental snobbishness. That's what it is. But your lipstick is so wonderful. It's difficult for you not to be arrogant about it.
That's true. I mean, I actually sleep.
You're only holding other people to the same standard you are yourself maintaining. It's not hypocritical.
That is true. And I put makeup on every day for literally no reason because I'm not leaving the house, and it's purely to waste time.
I mean, I want to be that person because my phone's dying, so I have to go downstairs now to my old seat anyway. So I'm going to take you down with me. If I cut out for a minute, I will let you know.
The house tour.
Okay. Yes, it's a little bit. I think you'll like this painting actually on the way down. It's very cool.
Sensational.
Isn't it cool? It looks like an out of focus photograph. It's done by an artist called Hannah Stone, who's in Arizona, and I bought it on Starchy Art. I recommend everybody look her up. So I'm going to plug you in, Jamie, because I don't want you to die because I have neglected your electrical charge. There we are.
I'm so glad. Do you know what? Another one of my favourite things about the news at the moment is seeing all of the presenters' bookshelves. And you appear to have an incredible display.
We have a library that goes all the way round, which we designed. See, it goes up around, so it's very high shelves up the top. Can you see that?
That is iconic. A book wall.
Yeah, we have a book wall. So I designed this part. I'll see if I can turn it round. Yeah, I can. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I designed this. This exercise bike is the way now, which is annoying me because it ruins the aesthetics. But I don't currently have anywhere else to put it. But that's actually quite a grand painting, and it should not have an exercise bike in front of it. And so the art is blocked into the walls. And I dreamt this up when I was renting flats and never ever thought I'd be able to buy a flat. And then made it happen on a incredibly tight budget when we managed to scrounge enough money together to buy this flat, and which the bank very much owns, but I'll put it up here. Doesn't Barclays Bank have an incredible, it might be Halifax, doesn't Halifax own, the Halifax Bank own a really, really nice bookcase?
Truly, I mean, that'll be the first thing to go when they come round and
they're letting me use it. They're letting me use it every single day. They never even just come and have a browse. I mean, that's the Halifax for you. Normally, this is sponsored by Diet Coke. I normally have a Diet Coke here. They don't know that.
I just went downstairs to try and find some, and all I had was alcohol. I didn't think that was appropriate.
I mean, look, what isn't appropriate now? We're in a global pandemic. We're in a lockdown. I mean, you're never appropriate, Jamie. You're never going to be appropriate.
That is true.
This year, next year, the year after, you are going to die inappropriate. I think that's just I'm going to die with a full inbox. You're going to die inappropriate. This is
You're
what we
gonna
need to know
die.
ourselves.
You're gonna die on and out of office.
Oh yeah, I hope so. People will be waiting. Oh, she hasn't responded to my email. No, I haven't. There's too many of them.
She's dead.
Too many of them. This is normally the state I'm in on Friday. Some people say on Friday, are you high? No, it's just the end of the week in lockdown. But I've got there a day early. Do you have any coping strategies to being more emotionally and mentally stable in lockdown? Asking for a friend. That friend is me. I know you only have 2 friends, and one of them isn't me, and the other one isn't Travis.
You're still on probation, Deborah.
I am not one of the 2 on probation. I'm sorry.
Imagine you were.
If you were lucky enough to have me as a friend, because I'm an excellent friend, you will never put me on probation. I need the absolute certainty that I'm friend for life until you die inappropriately or I die with a full inbox. We're friends. There's no getting out of it. There's no clause where you can just be like, don't feel like this anymore.
Locked in.
Exactly. That's the only kind of clause we'll have. That.
Coping mechanisms. Do you know what? Just before this started, I really got into the gym, which is a surprise to all of us. And it was a great new coping mechanism for me, because I used to have lots of ones that I was like, these are unhealthy, these are really weird. And I was like, why not go to the gym? So I started going to the gym, and now what I do is every morning I go into the park, avoid the police, sit down under the willow tree, and then I decide then if I'm gonna exercise. So it's quite nice to kind of have a moment of, like, I don't take my phone, I don't take anything, I just kind of have a moment with the world. And then I do some exercise under the tree. And then I walk home, and then I start my day at about...
Are you allowed to do that? Because I feel like the police in Primrose Hill are like, no, you can walk, you can run, you can cycle. They're the 3 sorts.
Hence why I'm hiding under a willow tree.
I'm not sure you're allowed to say that. I'm not sure you're allowed to say I'm breaking the lockdown rules and I'm hiding from the police on the lockdown rules.
There's lots of people doing it around me, so I'm just mob mentality. You know me, I like to follow the crowd.
That is, never a truer word was spoken. Anything you're surprised by, that you've surprised yourself or humanity has surprised you?
Yes, not to get too political, but I'm still very surprised that our government is still pushing through transphobic legislation in a global crisis. And in the US, they've passed 2 bills in Idaho that are very transphobic. And then Liz Truss came out yesterday and said that she wants to try and prevent trans people under the age of 18 from being able to transition, which is not the one. It's not something that you need on top of a lockdown. No.
Can you make a story afterwards of any petitions that you would like us to sign to help with that?
Yeah.
And is in fact that your feminist action for today, or your activist action? It can be a feminist or an activist action. Is that the thing you'd like help with?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's something that Stonewall have come out today and said that they're going to try and speak to Liz Truss herself and kind of see what she wants to do, because they've announced for the Gender Recognition Act consultation, they will be releasing the results in just before summer. So any help that anyone can kind of prompt for them to change their mind before they come out with whatever they want to say, that would be gorgeous.
Do you have any kind of routine? We will help with that. Do you have any kind of routine? I'm doing my questions, but we'll come back to that at the end. Do you have any kind of routine that you have found helpful?
My routine, I found mine works best if I don't have it around work. So I kind of have like a life routine. So I go and be illegal in the park, and then I come back. And then essentially I just get ready for the day, literally as if I was about to leave the house.
Right.
And then I don't.
Scarlett Curtis is doing a show called Getting Ready for Nothing.
Yeah,
so I think
very that. So it's shower, breakfast, and then it gets, well, brunch, because I'm gay. And then it gets to about 2. And then that's where I'm getting stressed, because that's where my routine ends, because I do a bit of work, I do a bit of writing, I check my emails, realize there's nothing. Um, unlike you, I realized there's absolutely diddly squat, apart
Well, that's
from
not true.
like Specsavers telling me that they want me to keep going. Um, and
Is that where
then
you got your glasses by any chance?
the, these are actually from an Australian boutique in London called Bailey Nelson.
I like the size of them. Brunch because I'm gay, people are suggesting as a slogan for your t-shirt, because every day in the new normal, the merch store very kindly, based on a slogan, based on a catchphrase you've said, something you've said. I mean, a catchphrase, something you've said once. That's not a catchphrase. Catchphrase you need to say loads of times. Based on something you've said that they found, that Hannah finds funny, she then makes an on-demand t-shirt design.
Yeah.
So it's only printed if people order it, so it's no waste. And it says stay at home. The thing you've said, so I have brunch because I'm gay, brunch not breakfast because I'm gay, or I'll go and be illegal in the park.
Yeah.
And then underneath it says ex Jamie Windust, the new normal. And all the profits,
Brilliant.
100% of the profits go to you, because artists aren't earning anything at the moment. So if you plug your t-shirt and people buy it, you'll
You know what?
t-shirt.
I would not love anything more than for people to be flaunting a slogan of me being illegal with my name in a park, so that we can...
Are we encouraging people to be illegal in parks, though?
No, absolutely not.
We
Unless
don't
hidden.
we don't want all the people going and sunbathing in a park with wearing a Jamie Windust t-shirt.
No,
You'll
do
be
you know
arrested.
I was
You're
doing...
inciting people to break the law.
I mean, I was doing stretches the other day in there, and the police walked past, and I got really stressed that they thought I was sunbathing. So I just started, I just instantly flipped over and started going into a plank. So I was like, that looks like it's something I can do. And then I realized that they stopped and I couldn't hold the plank. So I just
in Primrose Hill and Regent's Park, they're saying you can't do a plank. They say there's 3 kinds of exercise you can do: running, walking, and cycling. If you're not doing any of those, you have to go home. And by going home, you are doing the walking one.
Okay.
That's what they say.
South London's clearly gone wild.
Is South London off the leash?
South London's off the leash because I'm not even on the borders. I'm fully in South London. I think people just don't care down in South London. It's going wild.
I mean, maybe, to be honest, I think the police in Primrose Hill are officious. I think they're going over the line. That's my feeling. They were stopping, like a little boy was playing tennis with his dad in the park, but miles from anyone. They were not near anyone at all, and the police came over and said, you're not allowed to do that. But I suppose if everyone, it was a beautiful sunny day, it was the weekend, so if everyone came out to do that, it would be full. So they can't let the people who, yes, no one else went to do that, but they can't let those people do that, and then everyone else who stayed at home and did what they're asked to do doesn't get to play tennis in the park. I guess that's the reasoning. But it did feel very officious. The park wasn't as much as of a mental health break as I was hoping it would be, because children were crying because the police had shouted at them.
And it's so bloody busy. I'm like, absolutely. I went for, before I started doing my exercise, I was like, I know, I'll just go for a walk because there'll be no one there. Went round, bumping into everyone. I don't want to see you. You're not in my 2 friends.
No, I think North London's different. We're really doing the dives now. We're really doing the dives. Somebody here says, Nowhere Shay says, police in my area just vibing outside Aldi while 20 people break the rules. They just want their meal deals. Enough. That's, in East London, they're letting people do yoga in the park. What? East London?
God.
I want to do yoga in the park. I've not been offered that in North London.
Track over to East.
How am I going to get to East London? I'm not allowed to take public transport. I'm allowed to leave the house for an hour a day, but I've got to be walking the whole time. And if you so much as hesitate at the top of Primrose Hill to see the London view and catch your breath, you'll be shouted at by a police officer telling you to get back down and go home.
I would just like to formally say that I am following the rules, but I will be checking my rules now. I want to see you in the briefing tomorrow, please, Deborah.
Go and I'm going to be illegal in the park. I mean, it is a funny t-shirt. Have you read any good books, watched any good television shows? Is there anything to distract us? It could be something that is fiercely feminist or completely escapist, whatever you like to tell us about.
I have been rereading actually, and I've never reread a book. Very, very fun for me. Diary of a Drag Queen by Crystal Rasmussen, which is really, really fun. It's really dirty. It's really honest. It's like one of the only books that I've ever really gravitated towards, purely because they talk about shitting themselves a lot, which I'm sure we can all relate to.
I'm very scatologically phobic. I feel like my parole as your friend is up. You're not going to want to hang out with me because I'm scatologically phobic. I don't like talking about that at all. And you can, and I will facilitate it. This is your space. I do not want to curb your freedom of speech, but I
Being
will.
an ally. And I've been watching, there's a new one part documentary film on Netflix called Circus of Books, which is about a straight couple from LA who set up this queer erotica shop because they lost their job, and it's now like a queer relic in West Hollywood, which
is it a doc or a drama?
A documentary. So it's a documentary filmed by their daughter.
Ellen Jones recommended this to me. Well, to be fair, she said, I just watched the trailer and I cried.
I mean, if anyone knows in London Gaze the Word, it's a very similar vibe to...
That's in Pride. That's the setting of Pride, the movie. It's unbelievable, that movie. Have you seen Pride?
I have seen Pride.
Just love that movie. I just
Adorable.
love it. Can I ask you, can you please make a story of that and add the Guilty Feminist and we'll share it?
Yeah.
Any pets, costumes or eccentric relics you would like to show us in your home? Anything you'd like to show us?
I do have one thing, and it's not a pet, but it kind of is a pet. Is something that I've now started just sleeping with and spooning. Is my life-size elephant.
Oh! What are they called?
So this is Ellis, and then we have Barnaby, which I kind of just cluster into a schmuzz.
Oh, I know.
And then sleep within, above a framed photo of myself.
That is so on brand. That's the most on brand thing I've ever seen, Jamie.
Thank you very much.
Have you had a dark thought or low moment you wouldn't mind talking us through? Because it cheers other people up when they hear your dark moment or low thoughts, because they think, oh, thank God, it's not just me. It makes people feel more sane when you tell us about your sadness. I don't mean to mine you for your sadness, but it is helping people.
Dig away. I think it was yesterday. I had a moment where I was just like, because before this, I was supposed to be moving house, and I had put an offer in, and then literally the week before lockdown, they were like, no. And our tenancy here runs out potentially during lockdown. So I did have kind of a massive wobble yesterday, just about like, how the hell is everything just going to go back to normal? I think what a lot of people I'm seeing are just having those moments of like, I've got all these things that I'm supposed to be doing, but I now just can't do them. And I think when you move at such a fast pace, or you like to be productive because it makes you feel good, having moments where you're like, everything is stopping, and that includes like quite big life decisions. I had quite a big wobble yesterday because I was like, what the fuck am I going to do?
Yeah. I absolutely understand that. Presumably they will extend the tenancy because they can't get anyone else in there.
Yeah.
They can't shift it over. But it is stressful because you think, oh, well, we're on borrowed time, and what if they kick us out, and then do we have to get, like, what do we do? Where do we go? I'm sure it'll be fine. And you've got 2 friends. Don't let them off probation at the moment, because you may need them. You may need both of them. But I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, it's that uncertainty, isn't it? That's a great one. Sort of like, where is this going?
Yeah, and I think a lot of the people around me, like in my industry, are all working live events. Like, I hadn't really thought about it before, but technically I also work in live events, just not necessarily like performance, but like a lot of my work, especially now in Pride, was like speaking and like speaking tours and kind of doing that type of thing. And I was like, I don't know, it's just a weird feeling to think that a whole industry that you are in has just like gone for a bit, and it's that uncertainty that's like, is it ever actually going to return?
Yeah, when can we have audiences back? Because I mean, they will let us out eventually to go into offices and that kind of thing, small gatherings and things like that. But I don't know, when are we going to be able to play 1,500 seat, 2,000 seat theatres again?
Yeah,
I genuinely don't know. That could be 2 years or something.
The King's Place is missing you, Deborah.
I know. Our residency. Hello, King's Place.
Yeah, that was the first ever live event I ever did.
Was it?
Yes.
Because you did Global Pillage first, didn't you? Or did you do the Guilty Feminist first?
I did Guilty Feminist first, and I did Global Pillage.
First.
But yeah, first ever.
Wow. Well, I'm delighted that you popped your cherry at the Guilty Feminist. That you shed your virginity.
Publicly.
Do you have any habits from lockdown you think you might keep? Is there anything you're doing? Or is there anything where you're going to go, because I've learnt this about myself in lockdown, this is my new commitment on the outside? Or is there anything that you think, actually, this is a good part of lockdown?
This could be a TMI, but it's just me and you, Deborah. I used to change my bed sheets, I'd say maybe once a month. That doesn't seem that bad. I'm now doing it at least once a week, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. Because that new bed feeling of once a week is a thing. So I'm really out of myself here as a child, baby.
No. It's extremely useful to hear that when you've got more time to do these things, you suddenly think, oh, this is actually a piece of self-care. Clean sheets are the best. Clean sheets are the official best.
And you get to do the cold bed dance with your feet because it's all cold.
Nice. And it's great especially when you've got your elephant in there with you. I think it's incredibly impressive. Do you have any hopes for humanity, renewed hopes for humanity from this, about the environment, or do you think that the human race will learn anything from this?
Now, as a trans person, as a queer person, I'm quite cynical. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but I'm always quite cynical about when collective communities like now all come together in mass movements, because often it feels almost hypocritical. Because often that kind of kindness and compassion, like an example is, for example, when Caroline Flack, when that was in the news, and there's a lot of discussion around being kind online, that same kindness online wasn't shared to trans people or people of color or like minority groups. And I think what I hope in this kind of mass kindness mode that quite a lot of people are in, is that they realize that needs to be extended, not just outside of lockdown, but to people that need it more than the privileged folk. Because, I don't know, I'm skeptical, but I'm, someone actually said thank you today to me for giving way in the park. And that's the first. So maybe it's already working.
I hope so. I hope it builds empathy in people, and people realize people are people, and we can choose to be kind to each other, and that if your struggle is hard, other people's struggles are real too, and it's hard to be anybody outside the norm, whatever the norm is in that situation. And hopefully, I think it will build empathy in people, because their lives have been disrupted, and they're thinking, oh, this isn't easy now, and they're not just going full pelt down the motorway anymore. They've had to stop and take stock. Can I ask, do you think this will change how we see intimacy, sex, connection? Because some of my friends are like, oh my God, I can't wait to have sex. And some of my friends are like, I'm going to rethink the whole thing, because I've had time to just not keep doing the thing I was doing.
Before this, I was taking, not for any religious reason, but I was taking a vow of celibacy. As you can see, I'm a monk now. And no, I mean, I started going to therapy in January, and one of the kind of big things that came out of that was celibacy. So I was kind of already in that mindset, and it was interesting because just as we were approaching lockdown, we were having conversations about essentially easing my own sexual lockdown. So easing me back into a sex life. And then lockdown came, and I was like, right, okay, fine.
Could the timing have been any worse? That's my question.
Literally, Just like
The answer is no, it could not.
literally pulling my hair out. But I think it's been quite nice because it's given me more time to kind of think about my relationship, and people can think about their relationships with sex and with intimacy, and whether or not the things that they were doing were healthy. And then hopefully we can be kinder to ourselves when we leave, and not instantly run up to anyone that looks mildly like David Gandy, and try and have sex.
A beautiful answer. What's the first thing you're going to do when you get out of quarantine? If they said quarantine's over now, what are you desperate to do? And if the answer is have sex, we will find your previous answer hypocritical.
Go to the park and go under that willow tree, and it won't be illegal. No.
Legally revel under the willow tree.
Correct.
Frolic under the willow tree,
Naked.
shouting at all law enforcement, "You can't stop me now. It's legal."
I
It's not legal to do it naked, babe. It's not legal ever to do it naked. That's called indecent exposure. You can't just strip off and say, "You can't arrest me now, police officer," because they actually can.
My whole life is indecent exposure.
Oh, that's quite a good t-shirt slogan.
There we go. It's really sad actually, because I absolutely adore just going to Carluccio's and absolutely binging, but they've gone under in lockdown. They've now ceased to exist.
Carluccio's, what? They're no more.
No
Never
more.
again. You could have broken that to me more gently.
This was 3 weeks ago, Deborah.
No, you cannot just say Carluccio's is dead. You've got to say Carluccio's isn't very well. We hope Carluccio's pulls through, but we don't know. It's not looking good. Like, warn me.
What are we going to do? What do you have at Carluccio's?
I'm sorry, you can't just announce Carluccio's is dead. I won't have it.
Is the actual man Carluccio dead?
Don't start adding that into the mix. I can't take any more. I'm in lockdown, and you're just throwing that business is out of that business is gone under. He's dead. I don't.
Well, my other favourite shop, Warehouse, because I'm secretly a middle-aged woman, is ill.
Only ill.
And Oasis, her friend in probation, is also ill.
Oh God. Oh God.
And Karen Millen has apparently got symptoms.
Oh no, I don't mind about Karen Millen. To be honest, and I feel very bad for anyone who works there or Karen herself. Bless her size 6 tiny skirts, but I could never have been able to fit into anything Karen Millen's ever made. So it's not as devastating for me, to be honest. I do feel Karen Millen cuts for a size that is out. Like, my skeleton can't fit into a. My skeleton, were I to decompose, would not fit into a Karen Millen skirt, and that's discouraging, and I don't want that in my life. And
it's
so,
something I'd love to see.
If you're a Karen Millen lover, I'm right there mourning with you. Jamie, can you just finish off by telling us a little bit about how we can help with your feminist activist issue?
Yeah, so The Independent, I think today released the article detailing what Stonewall's actions are going to be in trying to speak to Liz Truss and the Women's Inequalities Select Committee. Is that right? Yeah. And there is a group on Twitter and on social media called Gendered Intelligence, who I will share, and they are amazing, and they are the support group that are helping to essentially challenge what is happening right now. And I think, I haven't actually seen, but I'm presuming that a lot of the trans youth charities like Mermaids, which I'll share, will also be kind of rallying behind it, because obviously a lot of the work that they do could potentially now not exist if Liz Truss and the government decide to not allow body autonomy to under 18s. It's just baffling. Actually, it's just absolutely baffling.
Yeah, it's I think seen as a sort of very emotional issue, but there's so much evidence that teenagers who are not allowed to be who they really are go into depression. There's potential for suicide. So it's really, really important that we
Yeah.
trust young people to, it's not like they're allowed to just go off now and just have
Yeah.
major surgery. But we need to trust teenagers to be who they are and work with medical professionals to grow into themselves.
Yeah, because I
And
think that what's frustrating is that puberty blockers and the things that under 18s have been able to access have been available for nearly 20 years, and there's been no issues. And also, like you say, you can't have any form of surgery until you are 18. Um,
and to be
so
honest, it's only because of all of this transphobia online that this has come up, and these
yeah,
things are being taken away. As you say, if it was something that 20 years ago was seen as okay, then and it wasn't too progressive for the year 2000, then it shouldn't be too progressive for the year 2020.
yeah,
So if you don't mind sharing those on stories, and at The Guilty Feminist and at DF Dubs, we'll share them as stories. And if you've got a swipe up link, if you could just send me the link, and then I'll make a swipe up story out of your story,
cool.
and we'll get everybody getting behind it. Jamie Windust, is there anything else you want to tell us, plug, ask the audience to contribute to or look at?
The only thing I'll plug is my TED Talk, which I think is quite
Oh,
relevant right now, and uh, it's about what we were speaking about earlier about pushing that empathy that we have for everyone else in community to trans people. And I think that's something that we can hopefully need right now. And if you love watching people cry, I cry in it. And that's quite fun
excellent.
to watch.
Well, that's quite good for lockdown. We need a bit of catharsis.
Yeah,
Again, make a story of that and send me a swipe up link, and we'll get onto that as well.
cool.
Jamie Windust, you have been, as always, an unqualified delight. I do hope to make it on your, when you fire your 2 current friends, I hope to make it on your new list of 2 for a short and unsuccessful probation.
Of
It's been
course.
absolutely wonderful on The New Normal. Tomorrow we have an incredible art and technology design teacher who's working with a class to make visors. Next week we have Sarah Barron. We have various other amazing people. I'll make a whole thing out of it. Watch our socials to see who's on next week. But The New Normal continues to be on Instagram Live at The Guilty Feminist, 6 p.m. British Summer Time, Monday to Friday. This will be up for 24 hours. And then it'll be on YouTube. And check out Jamie's t-shirt, which will become real live any day now. And there are new t-shirts up on at the merch store. Go to guiltyfeminist.com and look at our merch, and you look for the Stay Home t-shirts, and all of your favorite comedians and activists and communicators who come on the show all have their own slogan. For example, you could buy Alison Spittle's t-shirt, I'm not catching COVID for a flake, or Catherine Bohart's Gin is Fancy and Time's a Construct. These are all options for you. Travis Alabanza, theirs is I was a signed hustler at birth.
Correct. A true word was never spoken.
Never spoken. Bye, my darling.
Bye, love. Thank you.
See you all tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Bye. Happy New Normaling.